What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it would appear that Steve Harvey is in some hot water. Now, I don't know if he has like a long history of bad hot takes. I just haven't seen them. But what I can say is what I know of Steve Harvey is, well, I think he's was the voice of Men's Warehouse at one point. I think I remember them having like a Steve Harvey suit collection that I once dreamed of pulling off. But the dude is a self-made man, from what I understand. Went from, basically hustled his whole life. Had a carpet cleaning business when he was in his early 20s. Had a family who owned that business help him out to get going as a stand-up comedian, and really has just grinded his whole life to get where he's at. And that is something like that is to be respected and revered. An old clip of his surfaced today, and Twitter was losing their minds over it. And essentially, he talks about not having female friends, and I really fail to see anything wrong in what he's saying. This is just like when I think it was Mike Pence said something like, I don't go out to dinner solely with other women, or, stuff like that. Here's, Steve Harvey basically said, look, I don't have female friends. And because he's not capable of that, I'm not going to play the audio because I think, I don't want to get flagged down, but the idea is what he says here is quite simple. Here, I'll actually this section I think is the most important one. Okay.
Let's get rid of this right there. You're an attractive woman. There's some guy somewhere saying, yeah, we're friends. No,
yeah.
That's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have.
I understand that there are men out there that have female friends. I have female friends. But it's just, I don't really know how to describe this. I think there's a little more nuance to it. Like, you could have female friends that you also find attractive. That's probably the nuance there that he leaves out. If you're not attracted to somebody, it's a lot easier to stay their friend. This is why the friend zone is so big in the world. But what he's talking about is that, yes, a lot of these men, that it's like the male feminist meme, we're just good buddies. We're just good friends. But then he goes on to say this.
We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor, and trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
Because
we're
most
guys.
men think this way?
99.9% of us think that way.
I don't disagree with him. Now, is it possible? Yeah, it's not impossible. But guys, you can see here, it's not even about seeing them as objects. Guys have the natural tendency to invest our resources into things we care about. That's why it's hard for some men to have female friends, because it can seem pointless when you could be devoting the same resources elsewhere. Ultimately, this is, here. Males cannot be friends with women they think are attractive. End of discussion. That's the point. That I would agree with. Invariably, there's going to be some tension there. There's going to be some energy there based on being in the same place. Why do you think so many workplace romances happen? You're shoulder to shoulder. You're in the same meetings with these people every day. Both people are married, but invariably we're humans and we're flawed, and things happen. You catch feelings. Now, not everyone has to act on them, but what ends up happening is it ends up blowing up the friendship because, I don't think that he means all men and all women. I think what he leaves out here is simply that it's not really likely if the man is attracted to the woman, if he thinks she's attractive. That's just a fact. I think denying that is absurd. Steve Harvey blasted on Twitter for resurfaced clip claiming men and women can't be friends. Must be wild to learn the guy who popularized the 90-day rule doesn't have a great grasp on friendships, relationships, and spiciness. This weekend, a clip of Steve Harvey making a 2010 appearance on CNN's Face to Face is now viral video thanks to TikTok. TikTok is trash. He's only your friend because you've made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening. If he had just said attractive men, men who are attracted to female, I think that's difficult. You see King Perry. Notice he says he is incapable of that. Then says 99% of men think this way. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is called projecting. I don't know. There's a lot of men virtue signaling about this, but I would argue that he's not wrong. When there's attraction there, when there's opportunity there, when there's energy and time, it's really difficult. And that's why some people just have rules about not spending time alone with members of the opposite team, so to speak. By the way, this is true for women. Let's be honest. Woman working with a man who she finds attractive is just going to have the exact same pitfalls. We're just humans. But you see, it's really funny because how men will say things like this, but then be offended when women assume all men want is hookups. Well, I don't know. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying that he's just speaking the truth. I don't know. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comment section down below. I don't think I am. I think that, of course, on Twitter, you're going to have people reducing it down to the ridiculous and try to have the most minimalist take. But, there are a lot of people in the world that would probably agree with this take. Some men really do a disservice to themselves, acting like they have no control over their impulses, yet turn around and demand we respect them as leaders. Well, he's not saying that men can't control themselves. I think you have to add a little more context to a 90-second TikTok clip. I believe what he is saying is that men who are attracted to women cannot be friends with them because eventually they're going to catch feelings or, and be frustrated, and it's going to ruin the friendship. And it's not necessarily like something terrible happens. It's just eventually a dude is going to be like, man, I'm lonely and this woman's attractive and we get along on like every other aspect. I don't see how this is controversial at all. Maybe I'm just a terrible misogynist. I suppose that's what they'll say. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. We'll talk to you again real soon.